a special event that brought together Mater Hospital Cardiac Program trustees, stakeholders, benefactors and beneficiaries to officially flag off the Mater Heart Run campaign 2022.
The Mater Heart Run 2022 has been officially launched.
Today I'm excited because we have launched the Mater Heart Run 2022, and for us this is a great win because in the 2020 and 2021 we did not have the Mater Heart Run, and what it means is that if we don't have the Mater Heart Run, we do not have a platform where we invite well-wishers, our partners and our supporters to come together to raise funds, which is put into the Mater Heart Fund.
We are grateful for the continued partnership and support that you have accorded us and ensuring that the needy children with cardiac diseases get new lease of life.
The Heart Run, a Mater Hospital trademark that has been running for the past 25 years, is an annual campaign that raises funds to support needy children with cardiac defects and are otherwise unable to fund the costly medical procedures.
That is what Mater Heart Run is about. It's about touching the lives of children who have no way of ever coming back and saying thank you to us because of what we have done. But for us who have the ability to touch their lives, it gives us that one chance to do that.
Remember, cardiac surgery is very expensive because of the expensive consumables that are used, the specialized doctors that need to take care of the patients and even perform the procedures, even taking care of them in ICU.
Program trustees took the opportunity to outline this year's target and budgets ahead of the actual campaign in June 2022 as they called for support from people of goodwill.
This year, our target is 200 children from both open heart surgery and cardiac catheterization. These procedures will be achieved through your generous support. Already we have about 250 children on the waiting list, and this list continues to grow every day.
We can give our children a new lease of life by repairing the broken hearts. Broken in as those that have holes in their hearts, those that have valves that are damaged and need replacement, those that have vessels that are constricted and they are not taking blood where it's supposed to be taken.
The cardiac program targets children from economically disadvantaged families in line with the values of Sisters of Mercy, which seek to uplift the dignity of the underprivileged in society in the most compassionate way.
The interventions are focused on those who are not able to have financial capacity to deal with their ailments, and that's cause of the charism of the Sisters of Mercy. That's a focus.
The campaign has so far benefited over 4,000 cardiac surgery and catheterization beneficiaries through generous donations from local and international donors, coupled with a team of dedicated medical specialists.
A time came when all our resources were depleted, yet we still had a number of cases. It is a leadership that believed that there will be a better tomorrow, and we have not turned a single critical case back.
Andres alikuwa ameturn, the tongue ilikuwa imeturn into purple, makucha zina grow zikiingia ndani. He was pale, angetembea from here to there, ana squat, anainama hawezi fanya anything. He started fainting. Andres alikuwa anaweza kalaikuwa now the next hour amefaint. Tulianza kutembea na oxygen, but venye tulifika Mater, for real tulikuwa tume lose hope. Friends walituacha, but Mater ilitupokea, ikatukumbatia, wakatusaidia na surgery. Sahi Andres anaendelea vizuri.
My name is Andres Matano. I am 7 years old. Once I had a heart surgery and I had a problem. And my parents took me to Mata Hospital. They treated me well and I'm doing well. Thank you.
22-year-old Milka Atieno, one of the Mata Heart-Run beneficiaries, had been on and off hospital, grappling with incessant health symptoms. Little did she know that she had multiple cardiac perforations.
I had several holes. Wakaniambia nitahave kwanza clinic. Ile ilifika 2019 March, nika lose hope. Nikasema no clinics anymore. So vile nili lose hope, kapata Mata wakanishikilia. Relatives walienda silent. My mom na my dad, my siblings ndio walini support.
Many other children who had lost hope of living due to heart diseases have found recourse in the Mata Heart-Run program.
My name is 17 and I'm 11 years old. I'm going grade 6 and I thank Mata Hospital for making me feel better. And now I am a grown girl and I thank Mata Hospital so much. I thank you to Mata Hospital. I'm graded Form 2. And I thank God for everything.
Hii foundation yao imetu help sana. Back then sikuwa najua kuna kwanga na foundation kama hii inaweza saidia weak heart, hopeless heart. Ningependa kufanya what my friends were doing, what my classmates were doing, but ilikuwanga challenging. Ilini affect sana kwa sababu when people are moving to another class, me I'm still in the hospital. Most of the times nilikuwa na pass out, more faints, more weakness. But vile nilikuwa treated, nikahave kuendelea na studies zangu.
These are beneficiaries as way back as 2018, 2019 and 2021. These are children who were not able to go to school regularly. They were not able to play with their colleagues, but because of the program, now some of them have gone back to school and they are able to relate well.
Kurudisha shukrani kwa vile Mata walisimama na sisi wakati tulikuwa tumekosa njia kabisa, na wakati tulienda walitusaidia kabisa. Mungu awabariki sana.
The Mata Heart-Run campaign is on in full swing, and what stands out the most is the need to improve cardiac disease treatment and management, not just in children but also in adults.
We still hope that we should be able with time and with continuous practice, and we'll be doing most of the cases, that we will be able to come down and do most of the cases. And I'm trusting that cardiac center, Mata, will be the first one to get it, to prop it.
Over the years, the program has opened its doors to other clients through self-sponsorship and insurance covers, and among these, the NHIF, which have played a very key role.
The day will also be marked in 11 different counties across the country.
If you're in Nairobi, the run will be Nairobi. If you're in Nyeri, there will be a run. If you're in Nakuru, there will be a run. If you're in Mombasa, there will be a run. If you're in Kericho, there will be a run. If you're in Bomet, there will be a run. If you're in Kisumu, there will be a run, and there will be a run in Kakamega and Eldoret. Kindly come and let us all support these children.
I'm aware of the post-COVID-19 economic challenges, but I hope your big hearts will go beyond these challenges to touch the little hearts of our children, who are going to be our future leaders.
For individuals, you get onto the Mata website. We have the Mata Heart-Run paybill number, it's there. As a corporate, you can also talk to us. And when the t-shirts come out, buy t-shirts. Even if you're not able to give money, you can buy t-shirts for your groups, at your place of work, do it as a CSR, and join us for the run.
When you touch a child's heart, you touch the society. That's the core. That's where we began.
Touch our child's hearts.
It is an annual iconic cardiac program popularly known as the Matter Heart Run, which had stalled for the past 2 years owing to the adverse effects posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And as all well-wishers, stakeholders and sponsors gather here today to launch this program, the Matter Heart Run 2022, there is a call to every person who is able to step up and touch a child's heart in a special way as we await for the actual Matter Heart Run on the 11th of June. Asasha Elizabeth, Capuchin TV at the KICC, Nairobi. A very warm good morning, and thank you very much for making time for this health discourse this 13th day of May 2022. Now, we all have habits that generate or start in our minds, proceed with our thoughts and our actions, grow with consistency, and stay by choice. And here in Capuchin TV, we are determined to ensure that you make your self-care and healthy a priority. And that's why we bring you these weekly discussions on health, just to keep you updated on the different medical conditions and diseases and how you can keep them at bay. Now, today we are here to delve deeper into high cholesterol. I know it's something that is common and you've had it in your corridors, the medical corridors, so often. I'm joined by one of the medical officers from Misericordiae Hospital who will be taking us through this condition. Dr. Mugo, welcome.
Thanks a lot.
It's always good to have you.
It's always good to be here.
How's your morning?
Morning is doing great. The weather is looking great.
Wow.
And I'm glad to be here for us to discuss this important subject.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the weather is also a little bit friendly this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, perhaps gesturing to us that we need really to brace ourselves up and inform you more on these medical conditions. Now, my name is Asasha Elizabeth, and as usual, you can be part of this conversation by dropping your questions and inquiries on our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube. The hashtag to use as usual is Health Discourse, or rather Friday Health Discourse, hashtag Asasha Elizabeth. So welcome. Our number is 0717-424-866. You can either WhatsApp us or send an SMS. So off we start, Dr. Mugo. What is high cholesterol?
So I'll start by defining cholesterol. This is a very important substance or element in the human body that we have been gifted by God Almighty. It is a good servant but a bad master. And cholesterol is found in the cell membranes. The body is made up of many cells, and cholesterol is an important part of these cells. It is also found in the brain and in the nerve tissue and is essential for the functioning of the same. And cholesterol is actually made in the body, and you are able to survive even without external cholesterol. But cholesterol is also found in food substances, and when taken in, it is broken down and it is absorbed in the intestines into the bloodstream as fatty acids, and also helps to it acts as an important source of energy. Cholesterol actually gives more energy than proteins and carbohydrates, and it is important for our day-to-day functioning. And it is important as well as more so for sportsmen like our own Usain Bolt or Manyala. And high cholesterol, however, is when the levels of this cholesterol is above the normal. And when it is high, we are concerned because it can begin to clog up the arteries in the body, and it becomes a great risk factor for heart disease, for developing stroke, and for developing peripheral vascular disease, which is a blockage of the arteries in the extremities, the legs and the hands, which reduces the quality of life of patients and is a great burden to our healthcare system. So cholesterol is important, and we need to be concerned when it is high.
So at what level is it considered normal, and at what level is it high?
Cholesterol is considered high when usually there is a cutoff of more than 200, usually milligrams per liter, milligrams per deciliter rather. And it's important to mention that there are different types of cholesterol. There is a bad cholesterol and the good cholesterol mainly, which we are concerned about. So the bad cholesterol, which we also call LDL cholesterol, should not be more than 100 in an individual. When it is higher than 100, then we are concerned, and we ought to intervene, which we'll be talking about subsequently.
At a later stage.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Now, can someone have a low cholesterol to an extent that they would require to have external cholesterol administered to them?
Usually we are concerned about a low level of the good cholesterol, which can be found in foods such as fatty fish and other good oils like olive oil and canola oil. So we usually advise such, when we notice that the levels of this good cholesterol are low, we advise these patients to modify their diet and to adjust their lifestyle accordingly. And then usually in a period of about 3 to 6 months, we can repeat the cholesterol levels to be able to see how we are progressing. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, what would lead one to have high cholesterol or high levels of the bad cholesterol?
I will answer that question in two parts. So we can have primary causes and secondary causes. So in the primary causes of high cholesterol, there are people who, because of their genes, they have inherited one or more defective genes from their parents that makes them at risk for getting a high cholesterol. So such individuals later on in life may develop a high cholesterol, even when probably their diet is, they have a heart-healthy diet and they are maybe on an exercise regime, they are still they still can possibly develop a high cholesterol. Then that tends to be the minority, okay? But many of the cases of a high cholesterol tend to be people with secondary causes. So this would mainly include diabetes mellitus, or where the sugars are not well controlled, tends to be associated with a high cholesterol. There are individuals with kidney problems, for example, chronic kidney disease, where the kidney function is reduced over a long period of time, and that is also associated with a high cholesterol. There are individuals who, which I think is the main thing, because of their dietary habits. So they take a lot of fried foods, a lot of baked foods, especially deep fried foods, and meats that have a lot of fats. We are especially concerned about meats such as lamb, such as beef, they're what we call red meats. Or even white meats, especially when the skin is on, because the skin tends to have a higher percentage of fats. that tends to increase their level of cholesterol. And then this often tends to be combined with a lack of physical activity, the recommended, which is at least 75 minutes of intense exercise in a week, or 150 minutes of moderate exercise in a week at least. So if you're not on that regular regime, that can also increase your levels of cholesterol, because you are taking in more calories, but you're not utilizing the calories, you're not burning the calories. So that tends to contribute to high cholesterol, and this tends to develop over time. The other thing that can cause a high cholesterol is some liver problems, whereby there is interference with the flow of bile in the liver. Bile is very important for digestion of fats. If there is interference with the flow of bile, maybe there is an obstruction, there are some liver problems that can cause a high cholesterol. The other thing that is very key to mention is alcohol. A high alcohol intake increases the levels of bad cholesterol, and that tends to be coupled with a sedentary lifestyle. So the nyama choma.
Okay, right.
So in the social setting, so the social drinking has become more than social. For some, social would be daily. For some, social is once a week. For some, social is once a month. So the individuals who their social is every now and then tend to be at more risk. The other thing that is also a cousin of alcohol is cigarettes. So cigarette smoking also tends to increase the levels of bad cholesterol. And cigarettes have many other negative effects, which may be a topic for another day, but it tends to affect the level of cholesterol, so that needs to really be checked on. So those tend to be other conditions, such as hypertension can also be associated, and also being overweight. There are people who genetically are overweight or obese, and they may not necessarily have a high cholesterol.
That's a question that was lingering in my mind. Does one's body type, is it indicative that they have high cholesterol or the bad cholesterol in the body? Those who are thin, those with pot bellies, or those who are obese? Or you can just have someone who is plump but they don't have
It depends. There are people who have they have a lot of weight, but they regularly exercise, they eat well, and their genes allow them to utilize cholesterol quite well as a source of energy. So for some of these individuals, you may do a cholesterol test and find that it is okay. However, because of the high fat content in the body, there are risks for other problems such as diabetes later on in life, because they might develop insulin resistance, and they also may develop other problems later, like osteoarthritis, because maybe they're putting a lot of weight on their joints, and they may start to experience degeneration. So for the leaner individuals, they call them 1GB.
Yeah, 1GB.
Like me, you may be lean, but you don't exercise, and you are a regular at the nyama choma and drinking joints. You might be shocked to find that your cholesterol is quite high, and this is especially this problem is especially in adults, people above 20 years of age, and some may be lean and they are physically active and they are eating well, and their levels of cholesterol may be normal, but genetics also does play a big role in the same.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ndiragu. Now, as they say, never judge a book by its cover. So don't look at someone's weight and be like, this person might be having high cholesterol in the body. It would be the other way around. Now, how prevalent is this condition among the different age brackets?
This problem is more common in the adult population, people above 20 years of age, according to the research that I've seen. In our setup, it is more common among men than women, surprisingly. It's about...
Any reason behind that?
There is some genetic association, and probably men are less active. And if you go to the Nyamachoma dens and do a roll call, I'm sure you'd know who you'll get there. You know what the results will be. So that's a factor. So about 12%, that's about 12 in 100 individuals. For ladies would be about 7 in 100 individuals. The prevalence would be higher in the West because of their culture of fast foods and also their work environment and people doing multiple jobs. And it is less in the East, in places like China and India and Japan, whereby their diet, because of their diet, they take a lot of fish, they're more active, plus there's also a genetic factor. So the Africans would probably be in the middle, and also because a large population is not well off, so we may not have the luxury, especially for the lower class, for too much excesses in terms of the kinds of food that would raise cholesterol. So it is quite a prevalent issue, and it's something that we need to discuss and have solutions and make the public aware.
Great. That's why we have these discussions now. You know why we should discuss this. It's time to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment, so stick around.
Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.
Mater Hospital welcomes you to its newest satellite medical center at the Well Mall along Langata Road in Karen.
The reason why clients should come to Mater Karen Clinic or Medical Center is because we offer a variety of medical services, to include consultation services which are done by our qualified and experienced doctors.
We manifest the Spirit of Christ in the provision of healthcare to all our patients as we adhere to the values of the Religious Sisters of Mercy.
We provide basically primary healthcare services. So this means we will follow up patients on an outpatient basis for various diseases, including diabetes, asthma, and any other illness which arises, which does not require complex care. Our staff are qualified and provide effective services which are cost effective and good for our patients.
The various services that we offer at our clinic include pharmacy services, where we have a fully stocked pharmacy run by a qualified pharmacist, and we serve all your prescription needs. We have laboratory services that are run by our qualified lab technologists,
Get more than just basic treatment at Mater Hospital Karen Medical Clinic.
One of the key features of primary care is that we provide health education about various conditions. This would include things like hypertension. We would advise you on things such as how to take care of your health.
We serve our clients within a very short time. We have enough well-ventilated waiting area for our clients. And we have rooms for all those procedures that we've mentioned, well-spaced rooms with enough facilities and equipment. We also have all the decentralized services that are offered from the main hospital, to include ultrasound services that we offer on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the evening. So feel welcome to Mater Misericordiae Hospital, Karen Medical Center.
We take pride in your wholesome well-being. We are always ready to meet you at your point of need.
A lot of health issues are now preventable, and this means that just by making lifestyle changes, we can improve the health of people in the community.
Our esteemed clients and patients, welcome to the Mater Misericordiae Hospital, Karen Medical Center.
We have a large, well-ventilated facility, which means that we are able to see patients in a safe environment. And I would ask you, if you have a health issue and you are within the area, please feel free to come and consult us. We're happy to work with you and identify your issue and resolve it.
We are open every Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
You come and support us in this medical clinic in Karen, in the well. We are in the first floor. And you just test us. Sisters of Mercy are known for quality because they are all over the world, and especially our care for the sick. It is hard times because of the coronavirus, but we know we will give the best quality.
We just want to welcome all of you to come to our gynae clinic. It runs every Tuesday from 9 to midday. We have the full gynae specialty, all located in one room, one roof. We have a very comprehensive lab. We have ultrasound services, and most of all, we have caring staff who are going to take care of all your needs. So once again, welcome and karibu to this great medical center of ours.
Capuchin TV, huduma Katoliki ya uinjilishaji.
All right, welcome back, and we are glad that you're still watching this health discourse this Friday morning, and we are discussing high cholesterol in the body. With me in studio is Dr. Ndirangu Muko from Mater Misericordiae Hospital. And before we went for a break, just a recap of what we've been discussing, that is what high cholesterol is, how prevalent is the condition, and what would lead someone to have high levels of cholesterol in the body. We touched on what happens when one has high cholesterol in the body, but I'll allow Doctor to just give us another recap of that. But before I do that, allow me to appreciate and laud Imoit Matthew. He is one of our top fans on Capuchin TV. I think he is always the very first person to comment, and the rest of you, thank you also for tuning in. I'll be sampling some of your questions and feedback as soon as
I'm able to. But for now, let us proceed with the discussion. Welcome back, Dr. Mugo.
Thank you.
Now, how does high cholesterol manifest itself in the body?
So once you have a high cholesterol level, the cholesterol can start to be deposited in some of the tissues in the body. So you may notice that you're having some swellings around your tendons, maybe at the back of your foot, next where the Achilles tendon is, some around the elbow. There are some small swellings. And you may also notice some swellings around your inner eyelid, around this area. You may also notice that there is a ring around the black part of your eye. And if you look closely at a good number of old people, you will notice that. That is also because of cholesterol deposits. In very severe cases of high cholesterol, cholesterol can also be deposited at the back of the eye. Cholesterol is also deposited, excess cholesterol, in the blood vessels. So if it is deposited in the blood vessels that supply the heart, what we call the coronary arteries, with time a person may start to feel some chest pain that tends to be dull, that tends to be triggered by things like exercise, and may go away with rest. If it is more severe, the pain may even be there even when the person is at rest. And the chest pain may also, in advanced cases, be a sign of heart attack. So the blood supply to the heart may be cut off abruptly, and that may compromise the functioning of the heart, and of course, which will affect also other organs in the body eventually, and that is an emergency and may need to be addressed immediately. The cholesterol may also be deposited in the blood vessels in the brain, and with time that may lead to an individual developing a stroke. And a stroke is basically a sudden cutoff of blood supply to the brain because of a blockage or because of a bleed that would cause some serious damage to the nervous system. So they may have maybe their mouth may be deviated to one side, or they're not able to use one arm or one leg in cases of a stroke. The other thing that may happen if the cholesterol is deposited in the arteries in the arms and legs is what we call peripheral vascular disease, which is basically blood supply is being cut off to those areas of the body because the blood vessels are narrowed. So with time, an individual may start to experience pain in the calf region that tends to be there when they are active, and when they are at rest, it tends to cool off. And they may notice that maybe their toes are changing color because the blood supply has been cut off, and they may even develop some wounds. And in severe cases, some individuals may even lose their toes because of what we call gangrene. That part of the body has died off because of lack of blood supply, which we know that the blood is essential for transporting oxygen, for transporting nutrients, and for removing waste. So sometimes a person may have a larger than normal liver because of fat being deposited in the liver. The liver tends to be a store for fat, and that may also cause problems, may cause pain, may affect the function of the liver, and so those tend to be some of the signs and symptoms of a high cholesterol level.
All right, about the coating or the ring on the iris.
Yes.
How does it affect vision?
Not quite, because it is on the outer part of the iris, so it doesn't really affect, because light goes in through your pupil into the back of the eye, the retina where the image is formed. So it is ni kama urembo. So it just tells us that something is going on. But
lessons.
Yes,
Okay, right.
yes.
Thank you very much. Now, when someone presents with or some of these symptoms or signs, how do you test for cholesterol in their bodies?
So usually we do a blood test, which we call the lipid profile. We prefer to do it when the person has fasted overnight, maybe about 12 hours, because if you eat your chapati and mayai in the morning, then you come to the hospital for a check, it will give us a false reading, because it will be affected by the meal that you had in the morning. So when we do that blood test, usually the results come in less than an hour, and it gives us different parameters. So it tells us what we call the total cholesterol, and then it tells us how is a good cholesterol, how is a bad cholesterol. So we may also need to do other tests in addition to look, when we notice a high cholesterol, to check if there are other associated causes. For example, we may need to do a sugar test to check for diabetes. We may need to check the blood pressure, which is usually done initially at the triage. We would need to note that to see if the individual may have hypertension. We are also interested in the liver function to see how is their liver working, because an abnormal liver function could be pointing towards the liver being a cause of the high cholesterol, or the liver being affected by the high cholesterol. We may also need to check the thyroid hormone. The thyroid is a small butterfly-shaped organ in the middle of your neck that produces some hormones that help with the body functions, the metabolic functions and growth. So if the thyroid gland is underactive, sometimes that can lead to a high cholesterol level. So we would need to check that. We may also need to check if they're having maybe they have a heart issue. We may need to do an ECG. And we also would need to, maybe as we talk to the patient, to find out, have they been on some drugs which may also be raising their cholesterol? And this especially we'd be concerned about some types of hypertension medication that can cause a high cholesterol, and other drugs like steroids, which can usually good anti-inflammatory medication. So those are some of the tests that we may do in the hospital setting that will help us to decide on the plan of treatment, because we need to manage the patient as a whole. Yes, we are not treating cholesterol, we are treating the patient.
Now, upon diagnosis or the different tests, and once you find out that the patient's cholesterol is higher or is dangerously high, what kind of treatment do you administer to them?
Usually, that is it is a process whereby once we see the level of cholesterol is high, if it is slightly high, we tend to lean on lifestyle modifications as our preferred mode of treatment. So this would largely comprise of a diet change. So there's a lot to say about diet, but I think in summary we would emphasize that they need to have a diet that is heart healthy. Heart healthy would mean that they have a high intake of fruits and vegetables of different varieties and high fiber in their diet. We would also recommend that they reduce especially the fats that we call saturated fats or trans fats, which the trans fats are these kind of fats that are especially made in the factory, and they add a hydrogen compound just to give them a longer shelf life. So we would advise them to minimize on the use of those kind of fats because they tend to increase the bad cholesterol. Then saturated fats, things like coconut oil and palm oil, also tend to increase the bad cholesterol a bit less than the trans fats. So we would tell them to avoid that and to use what we call the unsaturated fats. So these unsaturated fats, probably a bit costly, but if you're able to get, for example, like canola oil and olive oil, they tend to be the healthier fat, the healthier cooking oil options. However, even if the economy is difficult,
even to get
yes, and if you just have the regular fat or regular oil from your local supermarket or kiosk, then we would still advise you not to use a lot of that and to reduce your intake of the fatty meats, to take more lean meats, and to take more poultry. So your chicken, if you can get turkey, if you keep ducks, that's a good source of protein, and you preferably eat without the skin, or even ostrich if you can access.
Wow, we'll get that. We'll be at loggerheads with the Kenya Wildlife Service.
I think that you can get maybe from Masai Ostrich Farm.
All right, okay.
Yes.
So now speaking of dietary practices,
yes.
There is a belief, a general belief that consumption of lime or lemon juice can help burn cholesterol. How true is that?
Well, I haven't seen any science on that, but of course lemon has other important benefits to the body. It's a source of citric acid, which is quite key, what we call vitamin C. It helps in healing and many other functions in the body. It's also a good alternative beverage because part of the diet change that we advise is also staying away from a lot of added sugars and carbonated drinks, because diet change is a package. It is not just reducing cholesterol, because if we do not advise holistic diet change, then we can develop other problems.
Yes. I know in our discussion you've mentioned some of the preventive measures like exercise and diet.
Yes.
Are there any other measures that can be adopted in order to keep this condition at bay?
In addition to that, there are some medications that we do administer that help in reducing the cholesterol levels. So the main type of medication that we give are called statins, and this kind of medication are quite good. But before we start the medication, we might need to maybe make sure the liver function is okay. And we advise also the patients on possible side effects such as muscle pains. And then we monitor them over a period of maybe 3 to 6 months and see how their cholesterol changes will be once we do a retest. So they tend to be quite effective. There are other groups of medication that we may use. There are other modalities that may be used, maybe not in our setup, but one of them would that is called plasma apheresis, whereby they put you on a machine and the blood is removed, and they're able to remove the cholesterol and return the blood into the system, which would be similar to maybe what happens in dialysis, but I don't know if we're using that in a setup at the moment. But mainly lifestyle modifications and the medications. There are some individuals who may profit from surgery, what we call bariatric surgery, that usually helps with weight loss, and may also reduce the risk further for developing the heart disease and strokes and peripheral vascular disease.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Our time is up, but as usual, we'd like you to give us your parting shot and tie it up with how you take care of patients with high cholesterol at Mater Misericordiae Hospital.
Thank you. Cholesterol is good and essential for bodily functions. High cholesterol, however, is not good, so we need to adjust our diet appropriately, reduce fatty foods and added fats, and maximize on fruits and vegetables, high fiber, whole grains, and lead an active lifestyle. Regular exercise, at least thrice a week, and if you have any of the issues we mentioned earlier, then please do come to the hospital so that we can have a discussion and maybe find out how we can be of practical help.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mugondirangu. It's been quite an informative session, though short, but so insightful, so we greatly appreciate your time. And whatever you are doing out there, trying your best to save lives the best way you can.
Karibu sana.
Asante. Now, Dr. Mugondirangu was here with, is here with his colleague, the driver Benjamin Muti, so we appreciate that, and the entire team, including Dr. Odongo and Sister Bernadette Mueni, and the entire team at Mater Misericordiae Hospital. We appreciate whatever you're doing to inform the public on the different medical conditions and how they can lead healthy lives. Now, the ball is on your court. We've done our best, and we leave it to you to make the choice, because whatever we do, the choices squarely lies on your hands. Now, time and health are two precious assets that we don't recognize and appreciate until they are depleted. So wherever you are, make sure you make use of your time the best way possible. And in this time, ensure that you spare a few minutes to learn a few skills on health, because health is the greatest wealth. I haven't been alone. My team, I've had a team behind the scenes. My camera person, Alan Andiva. Our sound operator has been Eric Otieno, assisted by Joseph Mabonga. And our visual mixer has been Michael Ndegwa. And on our transmission desk today, we have Kevin Kitavi. Thank you very much, team, for your concerted efforts. Call me Sasha Elizabeth. I wish you a great weekend. Goodbye.
Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.
It is a special event that brought together Mater Hospital Cardiac Program trustees, stakeholders, benefactors and beneficiaries to officially flag off the Mater Heart Run campaign 2022.
The Mater Heart Run 2022 has been officially launched.
Today I'm excited because we have launched the Mater Heart Run 2022, and for us this is a great win, because in the 2020 and 2021 we did not have the Mater Heart Run, and what it means is that if we don't have the Mater Heart Run, we do not have a platform where we invite well-wishers, our partners and our supporters to come together to raise funds, which is put into the Mater Heart Fund.
We are grateful for the continued partnership and support that you have accorded us, and ensuring that the needy children with cardiac diseases get new lease of life.
The Heart Run, a Mater Hospital trademark that has been running for the past 25 years, is an annual campaign that raises funds to support needy children with cardiac defects and are otherwise unable to fund the costly medical procedures.
That is what Mater Heart Run is about. It's about touching the lives of children who have no way of ever coming back and saying thank you to us because of what we have done. But for us who have the ability to touch their lives, it gives us that one chance to do that.
Remember, cardiac surgery is very expensive because of the expensive consumables that are used, the specialized doctors that need to take care of the patients and even perform the procedures, even taking care of them in ICU.
Program trustees took the opportunity to outline this year's target and budgets ahead of the actual campaign in June 2022 as they called for support from people of goodwill.
This year, our target is 200 children from both open heart surgery and cardiac catheterization. These procedures will be achieved through your generous support. Already we have about 250 children on the waiting list, and this list continues to grow every day.
We can give our children a new lease of life by repairing the broken hearts. Broken in as those that have holes in their hearts, those that have valves that are damaged and need replacement, those that have vessels that are constricted and they are not taking blood where it's supposed to be taken.
The cardiac program targets children from economically disadvantaged families in line with the values of Sisters of Mercy, which seek to uplift the dignity of the underprivileged in society in the most compassionate way.
The interventions are focused on those who are not able to have financial capacity to deal with their ailments, and that cause of the charism of the Sisters of Mercy. That's a focus.
The campaign has so far benefited over 4,000 cardiac surgery and catheterization beneficiaries through generous donations from local and international donors, coupled with a team of dedicated medical specialists.
A time came when all our resources were depleted, yet we still had a number of cases. It is a leadership that believed that there will be a better tomorrow, and we have not turned a single critical case back.
Andres alikuwa ameturn, the tongue ilikuwa imeturn into purple, makucha zina grow zikiingia ndani. He was pale, angetembea from here to there, ana squat, anainama hawezi fanya anything. He started fainting. Andres alikuwa anaweza akalaikuwa now the next hour amefaint. Tulianza kutembea na oxygen, but venye tulifika Mata, for real, tulikuwa tume lose hope. Friends walituacha, but Mata ilitupokea, ikatukumbatia, wakatusaidia na surgery. Sahi Andres anaendelea vizuri.
My name is Andres Matano. I am 7 years old. Once I had a heart surgery and I had a problem. And my parents took me to Mata Hospital. They treated me well, and I'm doing well. Thank you.
22-year-old Milka Atieno, one of the Mata Heart Run beneficiaries, had been on and off hospital, grappling with incessant health symptoms. Little did she know that she had multiple cardiac perforations.
I had several holes. Wakaniambia nitahave kwanza clinic. Ile ilifika 2019 March, nika lose hope. Nikasema no clinics anymore. So vile nili lose hope, kapata Mata, wakanishikilia. Relatives walienda silent. My mom na my dad, my siblings ndio walini support.
Many other children who had lost hope of living due to heart diseases have found recourse in the Mata Heart Run program.
My name is Misericordiae, and I'm 11 years old. I'm going grade 6, and I thank Mata Hospital for making me feel better. And now I am a grown girl, and I thank Mata Hospital so much. I thank you to Mata Hospital. I'm ready for 2, and I thank God for everything.
Hii foundation yao imetuhelp sana. Back then sikuwa najua kuna kwanga na foundation kama hii inaweza saidia weak heart, hopeless heart. Ningependa kufanya what my friends were doing, what my classmates were doing, but ilikuanga challenging. Ilini affect sana kwa sababu when people are moving to another class, me I'm still in the hospital. Most of the times nilikuwa na pass out, more faints, more weakness. But vile nilikuwa treated, nika kuendelea na studies zangu.
These are beneficiaries as way back as 2018, 2019 and 2021. These are children who were not able to go to school regularly. They were not able to play with their colleagues, but because of the program, now some of them have gone back to school and they are able to relate well.
Kurudisha shukrani kwa vile mada walisimama na sisi wakati tulikuwa tumekosa njia kabisa, na wakati tulienda walitusaidia kabisa. Mungu awabariki sana.
The Mata Heart-Run campaign is on in full swing, and what stands out the most is the need to improve cardiac disease treatment and management, not just in children but also in adults.
We still hope that we should be able with time and with continuous practice, and we'll be doing most of the cases, that we will be able to come down and do most of the cases. And I'm trusting that that cardiac center Mata will be the first one to get it, to prop it.
Over the years, the program has opened its doors to other clients through self-sponsorship and insurance covers, and among these, the NHIF, which have played a very key role.
The day will also be marked in 11 different counties across the country.
If you're in Nairobi, the run will be Nairobi. If you're in Nyeri, there will be a run. If you're in Nakuru, there will be a run. If you're in Mombasa, there will be a run. If you're in Kericho, there will be a run. If you're in Bomet, there will be a run. If you're in Kisumu, there will be a run, and there will be a run in Kakamega and Eldoret. Kindly come and let us all support these children.
I'm aware of the post-COVID-19 economic challenges, but I hope your big hearts will go beyond these challenges to touch the little hearts of our children, who are going to be our future leaders.
For individuals, you get onto the Mata website. We have the Mata Heart-Run paybill number, it's there. As a corporate, you can also talk to us. And when the t-shirts come out, buy t-shirts. Even if you're not able to give money, you can buy t-shirts for your groups at your place of work, do it as a CSR, and join us for the run.
One, you touch a heart, child's heart. You touch the society. That's the core. That's where we began.
Touch a child's heart.
It is an annual iconic cardiac program popularly known as the Mata Heart-Run, which had stalled for the past 2 years owing to the adverse effects posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And as all well-wishers, stakeholders and sponsors gather here today to launch this program, the Mata Heart-Run 2022, there is a call to every person who is able to step up and touch a child's heart in a special way as we await for the actual Mata Heart-Run on the 11th of June. Asasha Elizabeth, Capuchin TV at the KICC, Nairobi.